we are back. Let's go. We're back. Those Podres podcast. Sundance, Major J, back to fill your ear holes. Took some time off. A lot of time off. But we're back for a night. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Play it by ear. But we're heading into the holidays, Sundance. We figured what better time to have a reunion of sorts. Run it back. Let's talk some Sox, C's, Pats. It's been a while. We've got a lot to cover. We missed an entire baseball season. Unfortunately, so did the Red Sox. So there's that to talk about. But a lot going on. We got Sox, hot stove, free agency, all that stuff. We got C's are running their teams off the court right now. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Bruins setting records at home. We'll get into the Patriots, who are not quite keeping up their end of the bargain there. One thing we also want to do before we go further, Sundance, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Birthday on the 15th. Want to shout out to you there. It's a big deal. That's right. So,
thank you. The big 4-5.
It is the big 4-5. It is. Congratulations. All right. More importantly than that, how you feeling? What you sipping on? What you sipping on tonight? Let's kick this off right.
Sure. So shout out to our soon-to-be sponsors. This is Kegnog. So a little advanced holiday brew. And this is from Great Sale Brewing out of Westerly, Rhode Island. So Kegnog out of Great Sale Brewing from Westerly. Yep.
Sounds good.
No eggnog. Good. No eggnog at all. I wish it tasted like an eggnog beer, but it's pretty good. It's
probably the point of getting it, right?
Yeah.
I am actually enjoying a Down East cider donut. Down East cider donut.
Very familiar.
Delicious from Down East Ciders. It is amazing. Perfect for this time of year. We're going to run down here. We're actually going to kick it off with some Red Sox talk. There's a lot going on. I don't know anything you want to jump on first, but there's quite a bit. We can start with Xander. You start with Bogarts in that mess. I think the last offer that was floated out, they're saying supposedly rumor is 8 years at $220 is what he wants or something. Don't know how you feel about that. For that amount, I might be okay letting him leave, knowing how much we have to put into Devers.
Yep. So, I've really shifted my thinking on this over the past few months. The Red Sox have some really good young talent coming up. You do have Trevor Story, who is a shortstop by trade. Right. And if Xander is going to, look for nothing short of an 8-year deal, him and Scott can take a long walk off that short pier in Back Bay. I love Xander. Tough to see him go. But you can't really right the Mookie wrong by doing a deal here with Xander. You can do that by extending Devers.
They don't equate.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm okay there. I've kind of actually accepted it. I think Xander moves on. He was a great Red Sox. 2 World Series. Don't forget the 2013 season when he was just a young kid. It's sad to see him go. He brings leadership, but we just can't pay that price tag. And I am expecting the Sox to put their money where their mouth is and go sign Justin Verlander. I'm going to put it out there right now. I am expecting them to bring in Justin Verlander on a 3-year, $80 million deal. And I'd sign on for it in a heartbeat.
Well, it's funny thing to bring up Verlander, because I think it came out today that MLB obviously is, the whole thing they're investigating now, the Yankees and the Mets canoodling about Aaron Judge. But the other thing that came out was that Jim Crane, owner of the Astros, making a comment about Verlander potentially seeking Max Scherzer type money. I think the whole collusion, I think it's BS what the MLBPA is trying to bring, but I think it's just people acknowledging what the situation is and just speaking about it freely as opposed to keeping their mouth shut. As opposed, I don't think there's any backdoor stuff going on there. But knowing if that's true, that Verlander's looking for a Scherzer type deal, not to say he's not worth it, but you got to tread carefully anytime you're paying that kind of money for a guy that, yes, he's coming off a Cy Young as of last night, but he's still at the end of his career. He probably has 2 or 3 years left. It's always dicey when you're bringing in a guy that is at that end. That said, they need it. I wouldn't be angry if they signed him. They clearly need to bolster that rotation. They have needs. And would be filling one, considering where Sale is or isn't right now. Eovaldi's a free agent. They supposed to him. It's going to be a team-friendly deal you would expect given the year he had. I don't know what a Devers extension looks like right now at this point. I mean, it's going to have to be something ridiculous, and I don't care. Going back to what you said, you can't right the Mookie wrong, but you can sort of get there and make amends if you take care of the Devers situation. If Xander's really looking for that big of a deal, thank you for everything, via con Dios. Put that money into Devers and other parts of the lineup in the bullpen or the rotation or whatever. They've had a fair amount of money freeing up this year. They've got JD Martinez is off the books. Smaller guys like Waka, Hill, Strom are free agents. James Paxton, what a guy, came back, opted in for his option, which is only $4 million. So for $4 million, I'm okay with bringing Paxton back, who maybe will actually pitch for the team this year. I'm sure Kyle is looking at that as a rotation savior. Because he's always still trying to find those bargain deals. Kennedy was out there talking about how they're in on everything. Conversations are happening until I call BS. And sure they are. I'm sure they're checking in on everybody, giving low ball offers and hoping somebody will bite. Okay. I liken it to when, even if, anyone out there playing fantasy football, just throwing a bunch of offers out there or trades, hoping something's going to stick. And everyone else is like, get the hell out of here. No chance. You're insulting us now. That's unfortunately what I see is probably happening behind the scenes, but who knows? Maybe they'll prove us wrong. But until they do, I'm not going to buy it. Don't think we're players on Judge. I don't see how we would be at this point, but
we are not.
I don't think we're players on Judge. Inside scoop, folks. Okay, Sundance coming back with the inside scoop tonight.
Don't even need the inside scoop to Chaim's lair.
A little judgy
on Lansdowne. It's just not happening. It's too, again, the Red Sox are not going to get in on a player for more than 6 years and more than $200 million. Trevor Story is kind of the deal that they're looking at. And I think Devers, they might consider it. They might, but Devers is a different story. Devers is 27, 26, 28. Devers is not 30.
Devers? No.
Yeah, Devers, is he 26?
He's 23. I think he's 23.
So he's going to be the exception.
Let's fact check that. You keep talking. I'm fact checking.
Yeah, listen. Devers is the exception. He is a 3,100 player, and I think you're right. I think he's probably 23 or 24. That's a guy that you lay down 10 years, $300 million for. And I think they'll do that, and I'll be good there.
All of it.
After that, it's really interesting where we find ourselves, and even time of year. This is a Kurt Schilling type moment for Chaim Bloom. He's got to find Justin Verlander wherever he's hanging out right now, and he's got to make a trip. He's got to go see Justin and his wife, and he's got to lay out the red carpet. He's got to try to squeeze it to Thanksgiving dinner, and he's got to make his best pitch and say, listen, Let's finish out the end of your career with a really talented team, with a really insane environment, and we're going to get a World Series because we do have the talent. But the best I can do is 3 for 90. So what do you say, Justin? That's really, he's
at
got
the Thanksgiving table. Yeah.
And pass me the gravy. He's got to do that same thing here.
Teaser there, by the way, for a later segment, this or that.
And listen, if I don't know Justin Verlander from a hole in the wall, but he seems like a guy that enjoys the energy and the electricity in the ballpark. And you get plenty of that at Fenway. Even in early June when they're 7 games out of first place. I mean, they are still, you're getting that every single night. And so I think Verlander represents a unique opportunity for them to not spend crazy money. 3 for 90, it's only a 3-year commitment. And
given the market now, given the market now, especially for high-end starters, the last 2 years it's just gone absolutely. The refining isn't necessarily that big anymore, whereas it would have been even 5 years ago. Agreed. I mean, it's like a true ace, even if it's short term, until some of their pitching develops and gets up there, and they can balance out the rotation. Sale, at this point, anything out of Sale is gravy. No pun intended there. Bayo, I don't know. He came on a little bit at the end of last year. We can't really count on that. I don't know. They need a lot. They have to really stabilize that rotation big time.
But
going back to the money though,
one great pitcher stabilizes the rotation. You put Verlander.
Sure. No. Right.
They'll probably re-sign Eovaldi. I keep hearing and reading they're going to re-sign
Eovaldi. I'm expecting that to happen. I would expect that to happen. Yeah.
Is a 3 or 4, starter at this point.
Right.
And you still have Pivetta and Bayo to round out the back end of your rotation.
And then at this point, Whitlock.
Please talk to me about Whitlock. Whitlock.
Well, we have to now.
Of course.
I don't either. Stop
Stop
taking a strength and trying to move it into something else. Like the kid is proven to be such a valuable weapon with being that mid-innings guy, late-innings guy, stretch, like anything out of the pen. These are the things you don't mess with, especially when your bullpen sucks when you pull him out of it. And how? Thank you. Electric arm
becomes your closer, or Whitlock. I don't care which one, but you have
or sign someone, or sign a guy. I mean, God forbid. We have one signed. It's Matt Barnes. I forgot we have one signed, Matt Barnes, but whole nother story.
So listen, Verlander to me, he accomplishes a lot of different things for the Red Sox. Starting pitcher. I mean, number one, he's the ace of the staff coming on board.
Ace.
He's also the energy and the buzz. Listen, if you're high on Bloom, you can sign Justin Verlander. You can let Xander walk. You can say, we're hitting the pause button on Devers. We really want to retain him. We'll see where that goes. But you can hit the pause button there, and you can sign Michael Conforto to play right. I don't care, whoever plays right field. But re-sign Tommy Pham.
Right.
You have Story coming back. I believe Cassis is going to hit 25 to 30 home runs and bat 250. I really do believe the Red Sox can. It's amazing how I think one player, and it's a starting pitcher. This guy's only going to play once every 5 days, but I think he really changes their fortunes quite a bit. So we'll see. It's interesting to see how it plays out, but I am curious to see if Chaim rips a page out of the Theo Epstein playbook and gets some Thanksgiving dinner with the Verlanders. We'll see.
Side note, I believe Will Venable was actually he actually left, which was a pretty highly regarded bench coach, left to go to the Rangers. So we don't know if that will preclude to fan favorite Jason Varitek being elevated to a bench coach role, which would be kind of cool. That said, losing Venable, kind of that's a loss. I mean, he was good out there. Part of the core staff stepped in when Core was gone at times. he proved his worth, and the Rangers hired him away. Going back to the money, it opens up another conversation about what if there is a pending future with this ownership. Family Sports Group (FSG) notably has Liverpool up for sale. They've actually hired the same firms, like I forgot what it was like, to go ahead and try to look into selling Liverpool. The same groups that are actually helping sell the Washington Commanders of the NFL. So people are trying to put two and two together and say, does this mean the FSG is actually in play to buy part or all of the Commanders? I don't know if I buy that. I'm looking at just the part of the fact they're looking to sell Liverpool. To what end? I mean, nobody really knows, but conspiracy theorist to me starts to wonder, is this part of something I've been alluding to waiting for 2 or 3 years now, kind of pontificating that this group is going to eventually be selling the Sox, which if they do, they have to change the name of their group. That's a problem for them. I don't know if you have any take on that at all.
Not much. I this has been kicked around for 5 years now. At this point, I don't want to see this ownership group leave. It is as annoying as they are with.
Rather than seem to stay and spend money.
They are not in tune like the Yankees are with winning every single season. They can't.
Not anymore.
They can't be. You don't trade mega stars like Mookie Betts and bring in Alex Verdugo, who I love, but you don't make those trades and then trade Hunter Renfroe for Jackie Bradley Jr. and really expect to win a World Series. You just don't do that. So I'm disappointed that this group is inconsistent with their goals, but they've delivered 4 World Series. We were a last place team last year. We typically bounce right back the next year into the World Series, quite honestly. And so
we bounce back.
Not want to see this group
deep, right?
I hope that they don't. But that's the most I have there. If they left tomorrow, I wouldn't be crying in my beer the way I would have been 10 years ago.
Agree. But all right, we'll see. Obviously, should we come back to another show, we'll definitely check in on the comes and goings of that down the road. Let's talk some Celtics because we want to kind of blast through some of these so we can get to the Pats. But C's, unbelievable start, 12-3, up a half game in the East over Milwaukee. Standings don't mean much now, but what a freaking run these guys are on. The winners of 8 in a row. Tatum is out here setting team records to start the season. Sam Hauser is basically making everyone forget about losing what's his face who we signed? The shooter.
Nope.
Gallinari. Gallinari. When losing Gallo, you essentially replaced some of that shooting with Hauser, who's actually played well 2 ways as well. We don't need to get into the Ime Udoka stuff. We don't have time for it tonight. We're not getting to the Udoka stuff. I don't know what the hell that was about between the suspension, going to Brooklyn, psych, going nowhere, whatever. But Joe Mazzulla this team hasn't missed a beat with him. I feel like this team, Tatum, Jalen, all these guys, I feel like the coaching, I don't want to say it doesn't matter. I think Mazzulla's doing a great job for what it is. But clearly to me, they've come out. I expected them to come out this season, not necessarily hit a bump or deflate, but it was going to be tough for them to maintain that momentum they had back half of last season, right through the playoffs. To see them come out like this, like nothing has happened. There's been no gap, nothing, and they're on a mission. Like clearly, they locked in and said, "Screw it. It doesn't matter. We're getting back and we're winning it all this year. It doesn't matter." It's become like a Tatum takeover. And they're making all the right decisions. They're not turning the ball over. They're rebounding. This is with guys hurt. Robert Williams, case in point. I think it's crazy, but I mean, in a great way. I'm loving it. Marcus Smart's got to ease up a little bit. Sometimes there was the game against Oklahoma City the other night. They came back to win, but like Smart was the one like running ISO and hitting the shots. And I'm like, okay, well, good on you, bud. But that's not when you got Jalen and Tatum. You're not really the guy we're drawing up plays for. But I thought it was interesting. But beyond that, I mean, this team's going ape. Let me know what you think.
You hit on a million points there that are exactly my thoughts. I did not expect them to come out barnstorming like this, 12-3. I thought Robert Williams was going to hurt them, being lost for quite a time now with that knee injury. That hasn't impacted them at all. Who the heck is Sam Hauser? Oh my goodness, I can't believe Pritchard once again gets shoved to the end of the bench for God knows why, and then finally gets some minutes.
Right.
And he, if you have that
boom
runt kid as a parent who has some talent, he or she just doesn't really get the playing time, and you sit them down and you say, now listen, I know you're only 7 years old, but this is an important lesson. If you get into the game, I want you to take the ball and shoot 7 3-pointers in a row. Like, this is the mindset that Pritchard takes every single time he gets in the game. This could be my last game. The coach may never put me back in again. So I'm going to dive for the ball. I'm going to jack up 3-pointers. I'm going to make every hustle play there is. He is unbelievably impressive and underrated. Mazzulla, very impressive. Love to see that he has just eased right into the coaching seat. I'm really impressed. I agree with you. I thought that they would probably be somewhere around 8-5 right now. 9-6 or something.
Good enough.
This is a very impressive. Remember where they were last year at this time. They were so up. I mean, playoffs.
This time last year, we were talking about how up and down this team was and lamenting it and looking at the schedule.
We were talking about it in February. I remember the conversation about the All-Star break and listen, either this team's going to do it or they're not, and I don't think they are. And boy, did they show me up. I mean, so really impressive start. Love to see what's happening with the Celtics. I don't have much more to offer there. It's incredible what they're doing without Robert Williams. But you've got I guess, the deepest bench in the NBA. And we haven't even talked about Brogdon. Didn't even mention him. I know he's been hurt for a few games, but
he's fit in. But he's fit in seamlessly. I know it's crazy. It's just everything is working. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they've won 8 in a row. They're actually they beat it in Atlanta on the road last night. They got a couple more on the road. They got recording this on Thursday night, so they've got New Orleans tomorrow night, Friday night. In New Orleans, at Chicago Monday. And they come back and they got another 6 at home straight. Dallas, Sacramento, Washington, Charlotte, Miami, going right into December. I mean, this team could just jettison themselves atop the East and be able to really cement themselves going into like the middle of the season. So more to come on that. We'll touch on more of that in the future. But a couple more things we want to run it before we get into the Pats. Bruins, we're not going to get too deep into that, but also starting unbelievably, first in the East at 14-2, no overtime games, 9-0-0 at home, best home start in team history. All markers are playing crazy. DeBrusque, Clifton, Noshik, Krejci has come back and solidified the top 6 at center and second line. McAvoy's back. We're not going to get into the Mitchell Miller fiasco. No way we're even touching that situation because that's like the one blemish of anything that's going on right now, and I'm not going into it. But they're actually up 3-1 on the Flyers right now as we record this. 10 minutes going to the third. Hopefully that could be a 10-0 start with I think they got Chicago at home on Saturday. So it's crazy. But get more into the bees down the road. A couple other small things in the world of wrestling. Sundance, right up your alley here. We got Survivor Series coming up Saturday after Thanksgiving, the 26th. That's always a Thanksgiving type a premium live event. So that's big. Stay tuned for that. It's War Games this year. I know that's really right up your alley. War Games. That's one of your favorites. Yep, War Games is one of your favorites. Also, side note, make sure you check out our Boys of the Run-In podcast. Tommy Paradise and DJ. They're going to be covering everything wrestling over there every week. Another note, you and I will be going local performance. Blitzkrieg Pro Wrestling performing this Saturday, the 20th, 19th in Enfield. Mercy Me show, fan favorite, local favorite CPA challenging VSK for the Bedlam Championship. He earned that by winning a Texas Tornado Royal Rumble style match back in the summer. Unbelievable. If you get a chance, definitely go check them out. It's going to be amazing. Also have World Cup action starting on Sunday, Sundance, another one of your favorites. In Qatar. U.S. men's national team. I spared everyone, including you, donning the Landon Donovan jersey for this show. I put it on, thought might be a little much. I spared you, but U.S. men's national team, we got Wales, England, and Iran in their group. Odds are about even for them to come out of that group. Rooting for them. Make sure you get out there and catch some football the next month or so. XFL. The Rock and his group bought the XFL. They had their draft. You would never know it because it gets no attention whatsoever. There's a special on ESPN2 last night. Whatever, they draft quarterbacks and they drafted some positions. Interesting. XFL Draft Fever. Make sure you catch that. All right, so let's talk some Pats. Before we do, though, a little bit of a note here. If we were to come back and do more shows after this one, not saying we will. If we were, this is where we'd be telling you to smash the like button, subscribe, turn notifications on, etc., so you don't miss a show. If there were going to be more shows. Just putting it out there. It can help. It can hurt, rather. It helps. Pats. Because, I mean, all this positive stuff with the C's and the Bruins, we talk about the Pats. Not so positive. 5-4, and that's kind of where it ends. So, where do you want to go with this? Take the lead.
Okay. So the offense, as we know, is a dumpster fire. Absolute dumpster fire. 2 points here. The first one is Dan Orlovsky. Love him or hate him, the guy knows football really well. And
I love him. I love him.
I caught up on some of his work analyzing the Patriots offense today, and he picked out something that the average fan, I don't think, really picks up on. And what it was that the timing of the offense is completely off. And he showed plays, multiple plays, not one, not two, but multiple plays on the telestrator where Mac drops back 1, 2, 3 steps, hitch, ready to throw, and they pause it, and you can see every single receiver is not looking for the ball. They are barely getting out of their breaks to turn and look for the ball. So Mac is ready to find someone, and no receiver is even expecting the ball. The timing is completely off. Where does that lead me to? This is a year of learning for Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, and it is really unfortunate if you're Mac Jones. I remember hearing and reading all about it in the offseason where, this is going to set Mac back. This isn't fair to Mac Jones. Geez, they're going to install a new offense and Mac has to start all over. And I thought to myself, I think that's overblown. It was not overblown. In fact, it was probably understated, if anything. If I'm Mac Jones, I am really frustrated. I am walking into that stadium every day like, thanks a lot, Bill Belichick, for sticking me with these two guys who are learning the offense on the job. Granted, I know that they've both been in the NFL, successful assistant coaches, not successful head coaches. They know the game. They're not teaching it very well on offense. So the first point is, the offense timing is off. Second thing, really quickly, can we get the ball to Hunter Henry in the end zone? The guy's got 1 touchdown. He had 9 touchdowns last year. Can we get the ball to
I don't understand how he's just disappeared.
Forget Henry.
Oh, he's in the doghouse. Yeah.
I'm tired of this doghouse talk. We want results. This isn't high school football.
He's a playmaker.
Where it's not punitive.
Right.
What is going on here? I'm pretty sure he's not pulling any Kyrie crap with anti-Semitic video links or, Ime Udoka stuff. I mean, what did he do so wrong to only earn 19 targets through the first 9 games? That's 2 targets a game. So basically, Kendrick, I'm going to look for you and throw you the ball once in the first half. And then in the second half, I'm going to give you one more target there as well. Let's see what you can make out of those 2 targets per game. Cut the guy, trade the guy.
His snaps in general are down, right?
It's mind-boggling. You have a top 5 defense in the league, Super Bowl-worthy defense right now. I'm not saying it's the best ever. It's a really good defense. The Patriots defense is what has won them games right now. If I'm Matt Judon, I'm really frustrated and annoyed. If I'm any defensive player, if I'm a defensive coach, I'm looking at Bill Belichick like, what are you doing on offense? And if I'm Mac Jones, Kendrick Bourne, Hunter Henry, I'm looking at Bill Belichick like, this is not the time to experiment. And thanks a lot, because this year is going to be wasted. That's what I got so far in the Pats.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously can't disagree. You're saying there, Pats are right now 5-4, last in the AFC East. But the schedule coming up doesn't lend to a potentially good finish. I'm actually going to bring it up right now here. We've got, let's see. We got obviously have the Jets this we've had their number. Obviously, a lot of people thought the Jets were going to play the Pats pretty competitive a few weeks ago. Right. Pats have taken that game fine. But yeah, we've got, let's see, we got the Pats at home Sunday. You're going at Minnesota the following week. Thanksgiving. Pats Thursday, at Minnesota Thanksgiving. I believe Zolak was pretty pumped about that.
Is it the Bills?
Bills the following Thursday.
Which is strange.
And then you've got
Thursday games in a row.
Extremely. That's at home at least. Not that it is going to matter. Then at Arizona, at Vegas. Cue that. Home to Cincinnati. Home to Miami. And then at Buffalo. So, I mean, you're looking at this last stretch here. I mean, this is how many games? 7 games?
It's 8 games. Now, the
8 games.
Thing is Stratomatic ran 4,000 simulations and had them finishing these last 8 5-3. So that's Stratomatic. We'll see what happens there. Can we start with this Sunday's game? And I just want you to give me win or loss. Okay, let's just go right through the end of the season here. So starting with this week against the Jets, what do you got?
Win.
Okay. Following week?
You're not going to give your pick?
No, I just want yours. I just want to see where you land there.
Loss at Minnesota.
Lose to Minnesota.
Lose to Minnesota. Lose to the Bills.
Lose to the Bills at. Interesting. Okay. 1-2.
Yeah. Arizona's a dumpster fire, so I'll give them the game at Arizona.
2-2.
The Vegas game, reconnecting with old friend Josh McDaniels, they're a dumpster fire as well. I'll say a win at Vegas.
Thank you. 3-2.
Loss to Cincinnati.
Wow. Okay, that's a home game if I'm not mistaken.
It is a home game. It is a home game.
3-3.
By then, Jamar Chase will be back.
Okay.
I'm gonna say right now, this is not popular. Loss to Cincinnati, loss to Miami, loss to the Bills in the season.
Okay, so you're the Oppo Stratomatic, so you're going to go a 3-5 for them down the stretch here and have them finishing 8.
Yeah, they're not making the playoffs.
Playoffs? You kidding me?
Okay, so here's the interesting thing. I'll do my quick rundown. I'll need a little assistance if you have the schedule still pulled up. I say they beat the Jets this week.
I do.
I say they lose to Minnesota.
That's 1 at Minnesota.
Yep.
1-1.
I say they
Buffalo.
upset the Bills at home, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
The Bills are just a little off right now. That Josh Allen's really turning the ball over a lot, and I think that you've seen Mac kind of while he's not taking shots down the field, he's not taking shots anywhere. He's not turning the ball over. So I see us beating Buffalo 16-13 at home. So I'm going to go win there. Just based on turnover ratio. I say the Bills turn it over 3 times and we turn it over none.
That's one thing they've In fairness, like you said, Buffalo the last couple of weeks have shown some kinks in the armor. I mean, you're looking at a couple of losses now to the Jets and to Minnesota. They blew that late. Fluky, but nonetheless, you blew that game. Allen's got the UCL injury. Defense is a little shaky. So, yeah, no, I'll give you that. Following week 14, is at Arizona.
Win. Don't need to say much more.
Okay, so you look at that.
Win.
3 there.
Yep.
At Vegas.
Everybody's calling it. Vegas. Everybody's calling that the trap game. No, they're gonna not. Bill Belichick is not going to suffer.
It's a trap game if you play for the Raiders.
Yeah, like Belichick ain't losing again to McDaniels on the road in a frenzied environment like he did in Denver. That's going to be a win. Next one.
So that's
next
4. Is home Cincinnati. Home against Cincy.
I'm going to go win. Yeah, I'm going to go win. We're going to beat them because it's a home game. Jamar Chase or no Jamar Chase.
All right. Then you got Sunday home against Miami.
Win. That needs no commentary. We lose to Miami in Miami. We beat Miami in New England.
All right. And then closing it out, week 18 at Buffalo.
Loss. So down the stretch, what did I have them at? 6-2?
6-2. Only were 2. Minnesota on the road next Thanksgiving. And then they kick it up a notch, take out Buffalo, Zona, Vegas, Cincy, Miami, and then lose to the Bills. Wow. All right. So 6-2, that puts them at 11-6.
So here's the thing.
And probably in the playoffs.
So for that scenario to happen, I will allow a couple of conditions. Number 1, the offense does not turn the ball over much and finds a little bit of a groove. I'm not saying they have to put up 35 points. I'm hearing a lot of that on TV, reading a lot of it online. Patriots can't compete with these big-time teams unless they're putting up 30 points. I don't agree with that. We have a really good defense. So if our offense doesn't turn the ball over much, and I think Mac is okay there.
Right.
And I think Mac will find a little bit more rhythm with his receivers down the stretch. And the second thing is the defense cannot struggle with running quarterbacks. And we have struggled with running quarterbacks. Hi, Justin Fields. How are you out in Chicago? We have not stopped any running quarterbacks. So I'm going to put all of my
other than Zach Wilson. If you call Zach Wilson a running quarterback, Zach Wilson's the exception. He's more of he's not really a running quarterback. He's more of a scrambling quarterback. Is the difference?
He's more of a scrambling. My life is in danger. I must run. Now, here's the thing. The reason why I'm going to lean towards the 6-2. The glass is half full and the roses are rosy is this. And I will admit it. Number 1, I'm a homer. So I'm going to take my New England Patriots all day, every day.
Right.
Rose-colored glasses. The second thing is they are coming out of a bye. They are healthy. Matt Patricia and Joe Judge are good coaches. I'm hoping that they really ironed out some of this stuff and said, let's swallow our pride. We got to get Kendrick the ball a little bit more. The guy's a playmaker, whether we like it or not. Devontae Parker gets healthy. Damian Harris gets healthy. We ride the Ramondre train. And listen, I'm going to call some lightning in a bottle. Yeah, I think they reel off 4-5 wins in a row. I definitely do.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first, folks. If that doesn't happen, you can Go get Sundance's head on a spike. And you know what? It could end up finishing somewhere in the middle, which is probably what'll end up looking like. Like you said, it really comes down to
I hope not. I think you're
the
right.
defense. The whole offense has been Ramondre essentially for a while now. I know Mac used the bye week as a self-evaluation for himself, and that's all well and good. It's tough when you don't have a real offensive coordinator or a real quarterbacks coach. It's what it comes down to. Not when you're that early in your development. So I think, I don't know, anything else on the Pats, or you want to move on?
Good to move on. I think probably a lot of Patriots fans are feeling the same way we are. It's been a frustrating first half. 5-4 is I guess kind of where you think they should be.
Right.
But man, looking at it right now, we should have beat Green Bay, and we definitely should have beat Chicago. So you're kind of almost thinking to yourself, wow, we could be 7-2 right now, but we're 5-4. So we'll see how we finish out here down the stretch.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And it looks worse, the fact that even at 5-4, you're over 500, but you're still in last place. It just makes it feel like, oh, okay, you've seen Miami and the Jets take that step, which we never thought we'd ever see, if we're being real. Those teams have been bad for so long. You never really think it's going to happen, but it's happening. And credit to those organizations and for stepping up and drafting well and getting good. No, but I think looking at the talent, though, at least I'll say on offense. Offensively, the talent, Miami went out and went nuts to get some offensive talent on that team, between getting a Tyreek Hill in to pair with drafting Jalen Waddle, and they went out and added.
It's one player, though. It's Tyreek Hill has really transformed them, and finally,
sure.
I think people listen. Tua deserves credit. I've never been someone that just looks at Tua Tagovailoa and said, he's okay. He's a good quarterback. But Tyreek Hill is the bread and butter there. The Jets are not. Listen, you take Breece Hall, I'll take Ramondre Stevenson. You take Zach Smith. I'm gonna take Mac Jones. You take your tight end, I'll take mine. Like, the Jets are not really ahead of us. They have one more win.
Well, I think they did a good job of drafting. Like, they're not there yet, but I think they had a very good draft in terms of drafting the young talent this year. So, and that's to say they're ahead of us in the talent, but I guess it's more about, okay, this team actually went out and it's turning into looking like they made some good moves. Made some decent draft picks.
But
they look like they're back on the come. Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
But the Patriots did too. I mean, Jack Jones, Bailey Zappi,
right.
There's another the Tyquan Thornton. I mean, not lighting it up, but he's going to be a good receiver.
Showing talent.
The Patriots drafted better than people want to give them credit for. And I think that will play out down the stretch here, quite honestly.
Sure. I mean, in the end, you always need 2 to 3 years at least to judge draft classes anyway. So that's a fair point. All right, just this one to close it out, because you just mentioned his name and I want to throw it out there. QB to finish out the year, Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi? Who do you think will close out the year, and who do you want closing? Who do you want back there?
Mac Jones will close out the year. I would have stuck with Bailey Zappi. I'm just going to be honest.
Fair. I think that echoes a lot of Pats fans' sentiments. Yeah.
Mac, and I don't. It's the same thing with Bledsoe Brady. It wasn't Bledsoe's fault. It's different scenarios completely. It's completely different scenarios.
Sure.
But Mac in his development was completely screwed over by Belichick outsmarting himself and giving him Matt Patricia and Joe Judge to coach him. That's just not fair to Mac Jones. That said,
True.
Bailey Zappi ran onto the field and said, Mac who? Here we go, boys. Let's go.
Yeah.
And he just started firing. And I am surprised that Belichick pulled off of that and said, yeah, a couple struggles here and there with Bailey Zappi, and a couple struggles, like a couple of series that you didn't like, and you said, we're going to go back to Mac as soon as he's
back
healthy.
to my guy. Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it. What about you?
I think I agree. I agree. Definitely, it's going to be Mac to close out the year, barring injury. Case in point, just given that decision that Bill made between the two, when he could have just stuck with Zappy, he didn't. I mean, he's not going to pull that plug now on Mac.
No.
Given my choice, I don't know that I can give you an honest answer. I had this discussion with another friend of mine last week, and he was same mindset. Was view on should have been Zappy, like just roll with the guy who's has the offense moving, especially when you're looking at some of the offensive deficiencies with your receivers, breaks, all that stuff, off man coverage, press, everything. I would have probably waited, given Mac as long as possible for that ankle to heal. And I think that's where I would have. Like, I don't know. You look a little gimpy. You're going to be the backup. And, I don't know how long I would have gone with that for, but I would have stretched it out longer, at least, just to see. It's tough. Mac being the, not to say the franchise quarterback, but you drafted him where you did for a reason, et cetera, to all of a sudden pull it after 2 games and like mess with confidence and everything else. It's a dicey thing. So I understand why Bill did it, but Zappy was balling.
Zappy was balling. Zappy comes out, and it wasn't like we totally got to dumb down the offense. We're just going to have to run some screen passes here. We're just going to hand it off 37 times a game.
He was making throws Mac wasn't. I mean,
he was just chucking the ball, and you loved it. You were, as a Pats fan, you're just like, okay, this is what I want to see. I want to see Devontae
at
Parker
Lambeau
50-50 balls. I want to see Hunter Henry getting involved in the offense again. And it's like they flashed it for a couple of weeks and then had a couple of rough series and said, we're going to go back to Mac. And you're seeing with Mac that it's not there. It really, not there. Listen, Orlovsky just pointed it out. He's just like, Mac is looking for guys that are just not there, and that's just a bad sign.
It is. So we'll close it out there. One note before we move on. Bruins did wrap up the game against the Flyers tonight. They did win 4-1, extending their record home streak to 10-0-0 to start the year. Unbelievable. All right, that's enough of that. What we like to do in the past, is we'll switch it up a little bit, get off the sports talk, the Boston talk, etc., and we like to have a little fun. Lighten it up a little bit. We're going to go ahead and bring back, with this being the start of the holidays. Thanksgiving's next week, right, Sundance? It's generally the start of the holidays. Holiday season is here. So we're going to do something kind of in honor of that. We're going to bring back, let's say, this or that. This is going to be this or that person. Thanksgiving seating chart edition.
Love it.
Look at this. Look at that. Now it's time to sit and chat about this, about that. It's this and that.
Those Padres. All right. So basically the theme here is we are going to be, this is going to be more of a fictional dystopian type scenario where we're with our loved ones, our families on Thanksgiving, and a lot of people are out there. They don't have places to go, family to share the holiday with. So our families have opened up their doors for a bunch of randos to walk in and join us in holiday festivities, sit down, break bread. So we're going to hypothesize some scenarios, this or that, between who would you rather be seated at the Thanksgiving table next to, this person or that person. And this, we agreed this was going to be real or fictional, i.e. television, movies, etc., to kind of run the gamut there. So let's start off with that. This or that person. I'm going to let you take the first one. You give me what you got for number one.
All right. You're sitting down to the table and getting ready to pass out all the fixins and look at the turkey. It looks perfect. The doorbell rings. But everybody's already here. You do have one empty seat. And look at who's outside wanting to get in.
Setting the scenario.
I like this. See if maybe I can get a seat at the dinner table. It's Bill Belichick or Kanye West?
Oh. So in your scenario, it's not even I have to choose who to sit next to. They're not both in the door at my table. I get to choose who even gets in the door, and the other person gets sent off into the cold. I like this actually better. I like this better because that's a lot of food to be spreading out when you have multiple people coming in. Do I want Bill Belichick or Kanye
Who's got a game at Minnesota that evening?
So Bill Belichick, who's not one to be rushing in any aspect of his life whatsoever, might be here. On his way out, he just wants to grab a bottle of Pepto and say thanks. I mean, both entertaining in different ways. I mean, I'm going to have to go with Bill. I don't think if I let Kanye in, whatever, he's going to go on some kind of crazy diatribe about something. He's going to make a mess. He's going to get on the table. He's going to start stomping. Who knows what's going to happen with him? At least with Bill. I mean, I'm assuming I'm sitting next to him. At least with Bill, he's going to sit there, not say much, let everyone else around him converse, kind of keep the same look on his face, and occasionally just get a, you might get a impressor, just.
Finish those green beans.
I gotta get out of the games tonight. Yeah. It's I mean, it's got to be Bill, and just see if he wants a doggy bag on the way out. Good luck. Thanks.
There you go.
All right, good one. All right, and for me, this is actually calling back an older show. We had these two up for choices. Running it back here, and I like your scenario, so we're going to go with that. You had these two people outside waiting to come in. One of them should actually be familiar with the Russian, with Russian Siberian type weather, so it doesn't faze him whatsoever. Kevin Durant, who about a year ago we abolished to the Russian men's national team. Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving.
Ooh, who do you let in? A tough one, but not really. I despise Kyrie Irving, even for the. I'm going to completely dismiss any potential for revolutionizing the stupidity of conversation at the Thanksgiving dinner table. And I'm going to welcome Kevin Durant into the house and maybe convince him to accept that trade to the Celtics at mid-season when Brooklyn is in the 11th spot of the East and out of the playoffs looking in. So goodbye, Kyrie. It was never going to happen. But you've got more money than God, so head down to Subway, grab yourself a turkey grinder.
Are they even open on Thanksgiving?
Probably not, but that's for Kyrie to figure out.
Probably not. Hopefully not that one, Kyrie. Yeah, hopefully you are just helping it to Walgreens to get some Mentos. Okay, good one. Number 2, what do you got?
Okay, so either Sergeant Dignam from The Departed, which is the Mark Wahlberg character.
Yeah. Wow. This is okay.
Or David Pasternak from the Boston Bruins.
I am gonna go with. It's got to be Dignam because that's entertainment value right there. Every other word's gonna be an F-bomb. He's sneaky, he's sleuthy. He's gonna be, you gotta watch out for him though because there's gonna be food kind of making its way under the table. Dignam. Look at the way he killed Matt Damon at the end of The Departed. Spoiler alert.
It was just so insane. Yeah.
One of the best lines of any movie ever, which I'm forgetting now about doing your job, the other guy.
Who the fuck are you? I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy.
You must be the
Sergeant Dignam. So Pasta is just a character, man. I love that guy. I've got that soft spot for some pasta. But I agree with you. Dignam would probably be the more entertaining choice. Although, some relatives may not find it overly entertaining and just
It's Irish, though. I mean, he'd fit in great with your family.
He would.
He would. He'd show up good. All right. Good one there. All right. So let's, number 2 for me. Also a callback. Unfortunately, also a repeat here. So same scenario. You have Bill Belichick sitting out there, ready, waiting, kind of just hands in his pockets, shrugging his shoulders like, listen. And then, or current version, sad, soon to be divorced, nowhere to go version of Tom Brady. Which do you let in? Do you feel bad enough for Brady to let him in because he has nowhere to go now? He's been cast off, or do you have Bill, who's, clearly he needs a good meal before the game. So
it's going to be great, and here's why.
Okay.
I'm going to try to talk some sense into him. Even though it appears to be too late, the train seems to have left the Giselle station. I just don't get it. You are the greatest quarterback of all time. Close the book. And let's get back to things that matter most in life, like our family, our kids, our spouse. I just really don't understand Giselle and the kids. Maybe another Super Bowl ring. That could be fun. Let's run it back. I don't get it.
Tough choice.
Tough choice. Don't get it. So I almost would be somewhat of a hypocrite if I didn't allow Tom Brady to come into the house. Gotta, exercise some empathy. Bill really wouldn't be that offended. He'd probably say something like,
see, let me play devil's advocate here with you, because I know it's your choice, so I'm not going to try to change your mind, but this also came up in a previous show, and I would actually make the same argument question. With Brady, unfortunately, yourself or someone in the family is potentially looking to have to make him a special meal. Figure out what the hell this guy's going to eat. I don't know. Is he just going to gnaw off his fingernails? Because he's probably not eating anything you have out on the table, or me, any of us, right? So there's that. I mean, good luck getting him to actually eat. And the odds are, I'm thinking the conversation's not going to be too great with him right now either. Like, he's going to make some kind of, funny jokes. I mean, based on Twitter, if he even runs his Twitter account, which I hypothesize he probably doesn't, because he's actually kind of funny on it. What kind of conversation is that? I feel like he's just going to be sad, depressed Tom Brady. I mean, hey, Tom, you want some veggies? Okay, thanks. And then that's it. You want some butter? No. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems like it really would go south fast. And it's like, okay, thanks for coming, but...
Interesting. Yeah, no, I didn't think about what am I going to feed him, although I got plenty of leaves and twigs in the backyard. I'm sure if you spread some all natural peanut butter on that, he'll eat it. I think he's too stupid to realize how badly he screwed up his life, and it wouldn't be all that depressing to him until I brought it up and said, so how are the kids and the wife? Oh, wait a minute. So yeah, I think Tom is the better choice there, but I respect your call.
Okay, all right. All right, third one, what do you got?
Okay, so I love the creative freedom that this or that allows for, and so I am going to offer you either Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, or Andre the Giant.
I mean, it's Thanksgiving. Okay. This is tough. I mean, in my heart of hearts, I'd want Andre if he were still with us.
Yeah.
He's passed away, right?
I've seen the documentary.
Okay, yeah, all of them. I'd love to invite him in.
Right.
But the logistical issues that come with that on Thanksgiving, I don't know if it's worth it because, I mean, I'm already looking at, do I have a carpenter on speed dial? Because he's probably knocking out the door frame. How many chairs is he breaking? The toilet's going to be gone.
Well, he's not an elephant. I mean, he'll duck. You know, he'll do what he needs to do to get comfortable.
I am also in an older house, and the door frames are narrow. Okay, so I don't know. Here's the thing. Again, Thanksgiving. I still want to eat. If he comes in, you've heard the stories. I don't know that anything's gonna be left. Oh, thank you. And that's probably not his. It's just not his accent. But if it were,
I love it.
if it were, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's safer with Robert Downey Jr. and, you know, God forbid he does a little coke in the bathroom. Whatever.
Well,
I mean,
it's Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. So.
You think Tony Stark didn't do coke?
I'm not sure. I don't remember that part in Iron Man with the kids in the theater.
It's the editor's. It's a director's cut.
Gotcha.
Check up on that. So I reluctantly have to go RDJ. All right, last one for me here. I'm going fictitious here as well, to an extent. Okay, going back to an old show that everyone loves and adores, most people, Seinfeld. You can have Frank Costanza, George Costanza's father, the season 4 forward Jerry Stiller version. Frank Costanza, R.I.P. by the way, Jerry Stiller. Confirmed he has passed away, unlike Randy Quaid. Or the Soup Nazi. Who do you pick?
I'm going to go with Costanza because he's funny, and yes, he's going to say something obnoxious and rude at some point his way. Soup Nazi, no one wants to be criticized on Thanksgiving for their cooking. You know, the Soup Nazi is going to absolutely have a lot to say about, you know, how much salt is in this, no turkey for you. And I don't get down like that. I'm not on Thanksgiving.
Straight to the turkey.
Let's go. Like it's time to eat on Thanksgiving.
Do you think he would usurp any etiquette at the table? You think he'd usurp any etiquette at the table? Wouldn't even just try to keep you from having sides? Like he could tell you, like, you're not even having turkey because you're offended. Even though he's a guest in your house, you think he would have the balls to do that? Okay,
I think that it would not be an enjoyable experience, and I would prefer to eat at Thanksgiving dinner, quite honestly, and not be chastised for asking for seconds on the sweet potatoes. So, I'm gonna definitely go with Mr. Costanza, the elder Costanza.
Great call. All right, that wraps up our This or That Thanksgiving edition, Thanksgiving seating chart edition, whatever you want to call it. Happy holidays on that. We're going to go ahead and round out the show with a little 3 and out, like we like to do here. We just take 3 points we want to make on the way out the door. I'm going to go with number 1. First one, we've all been dealing with inflation. It's the story of our lives for the last 2 years. One thing I've noticed recently is that there's one thing that has really kind of weathered the storm of inflation, has gotten through without any raised cost, basically whatsoever in the last 2 years. And that's bananas. If you go to the supermarket, bananas still cost the same thing they did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe even 4 years ago. I don't care if they're regular, organic, whatever, by the bushel. They're still like 69 cents an ounce. I don't know how they do it. I don't know what goes into maintaining and growing bananas that keeps them so cheap. I don't know. I don't care. So my advice to anyone who is really getting hurt by the inflation bug the last year or so, buy more bananas. You'll thank me later. Sundance, second down, what do you got?
Love it. So for me, I'm gonna stick to the Thanksgiving theme. My family has been doing a Thanksgiving morning football game that has grown in size. I mean, it started off with like 4 little kids and a couple of uncles and myself as like automatic quarterback. And it's just grown into like, now, friends and family are just, hey, can I get in that? Hey, are you guys doing that this year? Can we do that? So if you don't have a specific Thanksgiving tradition, consider starting one this year. And it doesn't have to be a football game. It could be anything. It could be, hey, do a Thanksgiving podcast. Or do a Thanksgiving wiffle ball game in the backyard. A little November baseball never hurt anybody, right?
Well, unless you take one in the face, but generally speaking, yeah.
So listen, it's really made the holiday that much more enjoyable. And so if you don't have a specific tradition, think about starting one. It just kind of came from out of nowhere when we started it, and man, we look forward to it every single year.
Love it. I mean, advice from the heart on the holiday to start the holiday season from Sundance. I mean, what's better than that? All right, I'm going to stick to that kind of holiday theme with a third down here. Basically, again, Thanksgiving over the next week or so, the holidays have started, right? Thanksgiving's next week, so things have kicked off. You're starting to see, obviously, the ads have been playing for holiday stuff for a while now. But one thing everyone tends to notice now is all the Hallmark channels are now littered with the Christmas movies. From dawn to dusk and beyond, it's nonstop. The cheesy B-level, if not worse, Hallmark Christmas movies. And it's nonstop. You flip by them like, oh my God, they're on again, and you want to shoot yourself. At this point, I just want to say, I'm here for it. Guilty pleasure. They're awful, but they get me and they keep me in the holiday spirit. I don't know what to say.
Wow.
They're really bad, but you know what? A couple years ago, I started watching more of them, and I was surprised at how much I actually liked them, only because it kept me feeling like in the Christmas spirit and stuff.
Festive.
So very festive. I'll catch a lot of flack for that. I don't care. You know what? You can at me or whatever. Comment if you want. Comment below. We love that actually. If we keep doing more shows. That's third down. We're 3 now. We're done. So Nance, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Before we go though, reminder. If we do continue to do these shows, because we don't know, this might just be a one-off. If we do, and you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, turn notifications on so you don't miss any future shows if they were to exist. Audio available on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, anywhere else you get your podcasts. We're there. Rate and review. We might say it someday. Who knows? You can see with our background, we're on social up there. Way up there. 2 Padres Pod, yeah. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We're on TikTok, Facebook. Hit us up anywhere there. Make sure you get us in there. But all part of the world, not even the world takeover. Greater Western Mass, Hartford County takeover, because we're being realistic and keeping it smaller.
Scaling back.
We like to say we want you to come for the ride with us. Unfortunately, it's only a 2-seater right now at this point. And it's already blown up in our faces like Jay Leno. So, we'll take it as it comes. But we may be back in a couple weeks. We'll see. We'll let you know. This one's worked out. I think maybe we might be back around sometime before Christmas. We'll play it out. See how it goes. All right. Let's wrap it up. Sundance Kid, Major J, we're those Padres. Hasta tus sueños. We are out.